everyone, I'm Iziah Thompson and this is Daily Clouds This Week in Congress, where I will talk about what's going on in Washington, with the exception of Trump tweets. I will leave those to professionals, I promise. This week I'm going ahead right into the Senate and what they did this week. Both Democrats and Republican senators spent all day this past Sunday haggling over a deal to reopen the government. But the shutdown nonetheless went into a third day of deliberation. It was on Monday that both chambers of Congress passed the continuing resolution to fund the government, but only until February 8th. That's right. Despite the inability of either party's leadership to come to an agreement, a coalition of centrists from both parties eventually ended up ending the shutdown, and this coalition was nicknamed the Common Sense Coalition. And they proposed to reopen the government by reopening negotiations on, which was DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival Program, or DACA, is a measure that prevented the deportation of 800,000 undocumented immigrants who had entered the United States before the age of 17. That's if they arrived prior to June 2012, and that program expires in March. The proposal included a request that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, he's a Republican from Kentucky, hold a vote for the reauthorization of DACA before the new February 8th deadline to keep the government from shutting down yet again. During the speech on the Senate floor, McConnell responded that so long as the government remains open, it will be my intention to take up legislation here in the Senate that would address DACA and border security as well as other related issues. While some Democrats really were convinced by McConnell's response to the proposal, others, most notably Kamala Harris of California, aren't so privy on trusting their Republican peers. In a couple of weeks will show whether or not Congress will come to an agreement on DACA and other immigration policy. As for the rest of this week, the House is on what's called the district work period. This is time set aside for representatives to spend their early days of the new year in their home states with you, their constituents. Oh yeah. That means your representative is home for a week. You should know this. If there was an issue that you cared about and you wanted to speak to them about, or you wanted to call or attend a town hall session, this is your week. Unfortunate thing that if you wanted to meet in person, you would have had to set up this meeting weeks in advance. So I'm going to post a link so that everyone will know the district work week schedule going forward. Does anyone know of any town halls that are happening? Did anyone go to some? Comment below. Tell us about it. In unrelated news, the Senate did confirm the nomination of former Federal Reserve Chair of the Board of Governors, Jerome Powell, to the Federal Reserve as chairman. Trump's appointed his new chairman, and the Federal Reserve is a federal bank for the United States. But other than that, Congress was rather quiet the last few days. Most of Washington, otherwise, is preparing for next week's State of the Union address. That's right, this is the annual speech given by presidents to update citizens on what they did last year, as well as really lay out what's the next year and the coming year we'll have for the president. This is Trump's first speech addressing the nation about his first year, and that will happen this upcoming Tuesday, so get ready for that. And that's all I've got, guys. I'll stick around for any questions and comments about politics, policy, whatever. What's on your minds? What is the media not covering? Tell me. Let's talk about it.